I guess we'll go ahead and get started with some brief introductions. Welcome to everyone who's out there listening to this. My name is Jason Autry. I'm an assistant director with the University Honors Program, managing a lot of our admissions, marketing, and communication strategies. And tonight, for the University Honors Program, Ask Me Anything, we have five of our honors ambassadors here with us, and I will go ahead and allow them to do some brief introductions. Zoe, do you want to get started?
Yeah, my name is Zoe DeWitt. I am a criminal justice major. I also have a minor in law and paralegal studies. And I'm also on the leadership team for the honors program. So I do a lot of stuff with the honors program and the ambassadors. So I do oversee a lot with that.
Okay. And then Garth, you wanna go next?
Sure. I'm Garth Pius. I'm a third year medical sciences major with a minor in public health, and this is my first year as an ambassador.
And Chloe?
Hi, my name is Chloe Kilgus. I'm a fourth year at the University of Cincinnati majoring in international affairs, and this is my first year as an ambassador as well.
And Perry?
My name is Perry Lee. I'm a second year studying medical sciences here at UC, and this is my first year as an ambassador.
And finally, Anusha.
Hey, my name is Anusha Chitranshi. I am a fourth year. I study computer science with economics, and this is also my first year as an ambassador.
Fantastic. And hopefully we get to know a little bit more about each of you as you answer a few of these questions. I took them in no particular order, so we're gonna be bouncing a little bit all over the place, and we'll try to limit it to like at most 2 or 3 responses, unless it's one of the broader ones. So if you feel really strongly about any of them, don't be shy, speak up, and we'll just kind of see how the evening goes. So the first question that I got starts like this. This is a student talking here. I'm in a really difficult major and my schedule is pretty much set for the first 2 years. Is university honors too much? What's the time commitment like? Anybody want to jump in?
I could take that question if that's okay. I'm a computer science major and I'm doing economics with it. So I totally understand what having a very packed schedule looks like. Plus, I'm involved with a bunch of activities, but with UHP, it's never felt like it's been an overwhelming burden on top of everything I'm doing. Thanks to how the University Honors Program is shaped inside, you see, it's just like with what I'm doing, I'm able to do my university honors with it. So, for example, one of the clubs I was part in was one of my honors experiences because of what it is. So it wasn't something on top of what I was doing, but in fact was, a part of what I was doing, if that makes sense, right? And also the honor seminar classes, no matter what major you're in, you're gonna have to take some breadth of knowledge course, some general electives at some point. So because of the double counting of the seminars as your breadth of knowledge courses made it really easy to, fit it into my class schedule. So that was pretty solid. Plus, you don't necessarily have to rush all your 5 experiences. So if you feel like your first year is a little overwhelming, you can wait out a little bit and then start a little bit later when you feel you're ready for it. So I think it's totally doable. I think it's very, very amendable to your schedule and it works perfectly for you because of all the individualized attention that it gives to you.
Yeah, and I think going off of that as well, even if you do have a busy schedule during the school year, you can also do honors experiences over the summer. Like I did some criminal justice research over the summer after my freshman year, and that was a paid experience that I was able to take a part of, and that counted as 2 of my honors experiences just because of how much research I was actually doing. So if your school year is completely jam-packed with whatever classes you're taking and jobs and any activities, we do offer a lot of opportunities that you can do with UHP over the summer.
And just as kind of like a follow-up to that, what about for students who have co-op, who have a lot of those summers and kind of off semesters already committed, what are some thoughts about how honors works with co-op schedules, co-op majors?
I can go again saying I am someone who has co-ops every other rotation, and one of my honors was a part of the co-op that I like experiences was a part. So for one of my co-ops, I went to Geneva, Switzerland, and worked on the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. And going there, the experience, the change, that became one of my honors experiences. Once again, honors experiences are not something unattainable that you have to, really work out of your schedule to do. They're very, very easily fittable inside your schedule. So I joined honors late. I was a transition student, so I joined honors in I think at the end of my second year. So I had lesser time to do it, and yet I was able to do it. So again, very doable, very attainable.
Any last comments on this question, or should I move on?
You can go ahead and move on.
Okay. This one's a much broader question, so see if your thoughts about this. What advice do you have for new students? I think this is just kind of like general and new UC, like how do you get started question.
I think something that's
Go ahead.
sorry. I think something that's really important is just to put yourself out there in terms of getting involved. If something seems even slightly interesting to you, definitely just like if it's a club or something like that, just definitely go to a meeting, talk to people part of the club, see what it's about, see if you like it, see if it's something you can see yourself committing to in the long term. Because for me, I found a lot of things that I really like. You know, I'm in my senior year. I found a lot of like clubs, organizations, people in general that I really liked and enjoyed just kind of late in the game, like third, fourth year. Of course, COVID was a factor, of course, but just getting ahead of that is just like really important, and it will definitely make you, it'll help your college experience and help you make connections and get experience earlier on.
Yeah, I think going off of that, and one thing that I think UHP does really well is that when you're taking a seminar or doing any sort of experience with UHP, you are not necessarily with people that are your same major or have the same like career path as you. So you are getting to meet new people with a variety of different backgrounds and majors and just career interests. So you're able to make new friends that you might not have met if I just stuck with my criminal justice friends. I would not have met all these new people that I'm now friends with. And you can also use that to an advantage with networking. Everyone who I really have a connection with at UHP or I've done like some projects with, we like are now friends on LinkedIn, get to like make those connections in a more professional setting, which I think is really great to start your freshman year. And that's something great about UHP.
And to go off of that again, I would definitely say like Chloe said, like get out there and like do like whatever you can. Like if something looks interesting, just definitely go and check it out. I think definitely like for me personally, like freshman year we had like COVID, so it was like all that kind of stuff was online. And for me, I was just looking at stuff that was like fitting into my major, like pre-med clubs and things like that. And I didn't really enjoy that, but once that started to open up later on, and I actually went and looked at things that were like outside of my major and different like UHP seminars that were like I even like the English seminar that we took and some other seminars that were completely unrelated to like medicine, science in general, just going out and like doing things that are outside of your major and a little bit even like outside of your comfort zone is really beneficial, I would say.
And then lastly, I want to add that I think in this day and age, there's a lot of like positions in the world that don't necessarily just require like one field of study. I think like they require like a combination of multiple areas. So I think by going out there and combining your education, like for example, if you're like a medical sciences major, you could combine that with like a business major to work in some kind of like healthcare like management or something. That's just an example, but I just think that if you explore just like different fields and find something else that you're also interested in, combining that with your original like degree would definitely help you kind of get into a position where you can find like a job that's like a very like niche job that you might be interested in. So yeah.
Yeah, and if I were to ask to like a more specific follow-up for, especially for those of you who gave the advice to like get out there, get put yourself out there, get involved, find those things. Like, what's the best way? Like, a university is a large place. What's the best way for new students to like orient themselves really quickly and find out what's out there for them to participate in?
I can.
Um,
Oh, sorry. If you want to go, you can go.
I think something that helped me, because my whole freshman year was online due to COVID, so I had a more unique experiences that like these students would have. But going and participating at the organization fair or during welcome week, like your college would do, like at least for criminal justice. So CECH did like a welcome back carnival, and even going in, I'm in my like last year, so I've gone the past couple years. And even though I might not be looking to have like some high leadership position in an organization, I'm still going to these welcome week events and organization fairs to meet all these new people and just get familiar with everyone. So I think that's something you can continue on from your, like, the first step you're on campus is going to those welcome week events, because that is a lot of times where some faculty will be. So then that also gets you familiar with what type of professors you will have. At least they'll put a name to a face before that first day, which is where you can make a lot of good connections, because those professors will remember you as someone who shows up to non-mandatory events, and they might pull you aside for some special opportunities.
And just to add to that, Campus Link is also a great resource. I remember before coming to college, I just scrolled through it, and it's got all the clubs, organizations, their meeting times, everything. So you can also check if it fits in your schedule or not. So definitely scroll through Campus Link, subscribe to them so that you get the emails, newsletters, all those things, and just go when you can.
Another thing I wanted to add is another like tool that can be used besides Campus Link. Campus Link is definitely the first thing I would go and see, but something I noticed from that is that sometimes information on there wasn't updated, or like sometimes it would say like the meeting day, but and say like every other like Tuesday, and I didn't know if this Tuesday was that week on or week off. I would go to Instagram and I like typed in like UC and then see a bunch of stuff pop up. I'd go to like the main like UC account, University of Cincinnati account, see what accounts they follow, because they follow a lot of like clubs and stuff like that. Just see what like my friends are following and stuff like that. Most, of course, not all, but most organizations nowadays have an Instagram, and that's where you can get like instant updates. If you have any questions, you can always DM the account. And the chair of social media or marketing or whoever is generally pretty quick to get back to you. And that's how I got one of the exec positions that I currently have, is by finding them on Instagram and then getting involved and then getting that position.
And this one sounds related, but I think this one's more of a focus on like academics early on. So I'll just read it here. I've heard advice to take it slow and just focus on academics early. I've also heard that I should get really involved early. What should I do?
I can definitely take that one. I think both sides of the argument is definitely like arguable. But I think finding the right balance is like very important, and it depends on the type of person to really make that decision. So like if you're someone who's just like naturally like academics is kind of your thing, and like you don't really get involved too much, but you'd like to do more, I definitely say maybe lean towards like lean towards like the involvement more. But if you're like the opposite way around, I think you should start off like maybe focusing on those academics. But if you're in doubt of like what to choose, I would definitely say academics first. Pretty much because like personally, I found this out like from personal experience. My first year, going into like college level classes, I started off like, I guess like your first year, you don't really take like the hardest of classes. So I did a lot of extracurriculars. And it was like a lot on my plate. Like I was going to like a lot of meetings. But then my second year, once I started like transitioning into like more exec positions, combining that with like the higher level course load and stuff, there was just so much on my plate that I had to like drop off some organizations, which is like what you want to do. You don't want to like overwork yourself and like burn yourself out like too early on. So I think like finding the right balance but not overshooting it is definitely my piece of advice I'd give someone who is starting out.
Yeah, I would also second that because obviously academics are a big thing since you're at college and starting off with like a good GPA your freshman year, like it's harder to come back from a lower GPA. So just balancing academics and like the extracurriculars is really important. But I also do think that getting involved in a lot of organizations is like early is really beneficial because especially your freshman year, you want to meet as many people as you can and just make those connections so you don't feel like you're one person out of all these thousands of people that you walk around on campus. You'll at least be able to walk down Main Street or walk to a class with someone and you'll start to have like those like mini connections with people and start to make friends. And also a lot of people in the fall, I've noticed with organizations, like there's going to be so many more members that come in the fall and then they kind of drop off like by like Thanksgiving break and down towards like second semester. So even if you do go to maybe like one or two meetings a semester for an organization, you're still kind of getting your name out there and making those like friendships, which is really important because you really want to have like just some friends in your corner because college and that transition from high school to college can be pretty tough.
Okay. Shifting gears a little bit here. Do you have any advice on housing? Should I live in the honors reserved floors and should I uh, spend time finding a roommate or should I just go random?
So I can speak on, so I was a transition student, so I did not join honors until the second semester of my freshman year, so I didn't have the opportunity to live in honors housing. So I can't exactly speak on that, but trying to find a roommate, there's a lot of like Facebook groups for like, I guess, class of 28, 27, both, just depending on what type of program that you're gonna be in. There's a lot of Facebook groups like that. That's how I'm in my last year and that's how I've met all my roommates for the past couple years is just through Facebook. And you get to it's nice to have roommates that aren't necessarily like your best friend just because you're spending a lot of time on top of each other. So having like a friend that you might have like a couple classes with, but you're not spending every waking moment with them. That's really nice. But my freshman year, that I was definitely worried about like posting about myself on Facebook and trying to find roommates, but it ended up working pretty well. I would say if I was admitted into honors right off the bat, I probably would have lived in the honors housing just to grow that community right off the bat, and you're automatically have something in common with all those people in your area.
Going off of that, I'm an RA, and it's always advised to, have a roommate in mind before you come here, because you can totally throw it in the air and take the gamble. But, housing has been a serious crisis, especially this year. And once you do get a roommate, and on the off chance that you're not settling in with them, on the off chance that they're not what you expected a roommate to be, it'd be really hard to shift or move or because of the severe housing crisis going on campus right now. So it would definitely be ideal if you look. So it's like definitely worth it to spend time looking for a roommate. And then, like Zoe said, if I were a university honor student admitted when I joined college, I would have definitely preferred living in the honors housing just because living with people you share something, you automatically have something to talk about, right? And that's how you make friends. That's how you grow connections. So that would be my piece of advice for it.
Yeah, and going off of that, I'm not a transition student, and I did live in university housing my first semester. And like Anusha and Zoe were saying, it really does help you because you like it. I mean, for me, it was definitely hard, like especially with COVID, to like just like come to like a new place. I didn't know anyone and just like start from scratch. So getting to like live with people who weren't in my major, weren't in my classes, but we still had like stuff in common was really helpful. As far as the roommates things go, I had random roommates for my first 2 years, and I honestly thought that was fine with me. Like I really got along well with all of them. And I also really enjoyed to like we're in like a previous question we were talking about just like getting out there and like branching out and getting out of your comfort zone. I think if you're like random roommates and you're like there are people who are like in different majors and different classes, they're having different experiences across campus or around campus than you are. I think that also is pretty beneficial because you get to see a new side of things and you can get exposed to more like newer and maybe you don't like things around as much, but maybe you do and stuff like that. And so I think that just it's maybe if you do find roommates like in Facebook's groups and stuff, then it can be really beneficial because you can definitely find and gel with people easier that way and maybe not have to take chances. But I don't think random is that bad of a choice either.
Okay. Up to question 5, and this one turns back to honors experiences. The student says, I'm a little bit confused about experiences. Can you clarify what you've done, and do you have any advice on what to do?
Okay, I can start. So in terms of experiences, you have 3 options. You can do a self-designed experience where you're just kind of you go through this application process to just propose, I guess it's a proposal process more say, and you're just throwing your ideas out and somewhat you'll work with your honors advisor and they will be able to let you know like if this experience is something that's obtainable or not and what like the next steps are. For those, you can get a little bit of funding. So if you have something you're really passionate about and you want to create that as a self-designed experience, you can definitely work with that. And then there's 2 other ones. One is seminars. So those are just your basic like 3 credit hour classes. Those are really nice because as we talked about earlier, like you have to take a few gen eds for regardless of your major. So you can use a like honors seminar as one of your gen eds. Like I needed a humanities class to graduate and I'm currently in a children's media and social justice honors experience. And that's counting as one of my experiences, but also my humanities credit for my major. So you get to have better options of classes at some points just because I'm not like a humanities or history. I don't love those classes. So I was always just looking at the honors classes of what could fit into that humanities category because I knew I didn't want to take like a basic United States history class because that's just not something that I enjoy. And then there's also pre-approved experiences where those are just pre-approved by the UHP faculty and they can be anything from being a president of a certain organization or a co-op or just I did some research, so that counted as a pre-approved experience. We have some different leadership opportunities that also count as a pre-approved experience. So you can kind of fit in. There's a lot of pre-approved experiences that might be able to fit in what you're already a part of. And in terms of some experiences that I've done, like I said, I am in the humanities course about social justice. I've taken a seminar on blind injustice and wrongful convictions, so about people who are wrongfully convicted in the prison system. I just went to Iceland over winter break, and that counted as an honors experience. I took a class the whole semester about travel writing, and then for a week over winter break, we got to go to Iceland. And then I've done some pre-approved experiences like the research that I've done, and then I'm also I'm also on the leadership team, so that is also an experience for pre-approved. So there's a wide variety of things you can do, and if no seminar or pre-approved experience really draws your interest, there's always that self-design that you can fall back on and create.
Yeah, and I think it'll actually be valuable to hear a little bit about how each of you have done your experiences. So let's open this question up to everyone.
I'll go ahead and go. For me, most of my experiences have been pre-approved, and the seminars, like so I was talking about, one of the seminars, like I mentioned, was the English seminar. It's really just honors English, but it was really a really great experience for me because I learned I feel like I improved my writing a lot, and it was more about like how I'm supposed to write rather than just teaching me like or finding out how I want to write for myself rather than just teaching me like these are the basics of writing and this is like grammar and stuff like that. And then for a pre-approved experience, I've done research through the RAMP program here at UC, which is really helpful for getting like first years and new students into research, especially when you're in like pre-med programs like I am. It's really beneficial because that's like a big extracurricular for us. And then I've also done a club pre-approved experience through HOSA, the Health Occupation Students of America, and I get to go and compete in the year-end, semester-end competitions that they have. That's also for like pre-health stuff. So that's also really helpful for students like me. I think I haven't done any self-design, but I could have. There's a lot of I know some people, friends of mine who have like made YouTube channels and who have started blogs, who have started like who have learned like new languages and things like that. So I think with experiences, especially personally for me, like going back to that question earlier about like what's the time commitment for UHP, I think it's more less how like you look at your stack schedule and your stack day and you think how can I fit more experiences and seminars on top of this? It's a lot more helpful for UHP because it's more like looking at your schedule and thinking how can I make this an experience or how can I make that an experience? So yeah, that's definitely how it's been for me.
For me, I would definitely say that I've definitely taken advantage of the self-designed experiences. They're really open-ended. The process is really streamlined. It's really easy to understand, really easy to get feedback. If it gets denied the first time, there's feedback, and it's very easy to adjust it to the expectations of what you want to get out of the program. For my experiences, my first one was when I got hired at the Learning Commons, and with that, it's considered like a co-op, like on-campus co-op, I believe. And so I took a co-op class. I forget what it's called. It was like 3,000 or 1,000 and something. But that was my first experience. That was a semester-long class. And then my second one was the same year. This one was throughout the year, and it was called RAP. It was the Racial Awareness Program. I believe that this program has advanced and transformed into a social change program within UHP. That was a great program, and with it being COVID during that time, having that online interaction with like other students and stuff like that, talking about such an important subject, that was a really good experience. So those are my two. And then that summer I had 2 internships, so that also counted as well, and that would be through the self-design process. And that was only my first year. So by the end of my first year, I had 4 experiences already done. So like Garth was saying, don't think of like it, the 5 honors experience or however honors experiences you need to get that honors for graduation stuff as like a task. For me, it very naturally came. And yeah, the honors advisors are also there for a reason to help you out and like to help you find experiences such as that. And then the following spring, I also had another internship. That summer, I went to the Netherlands for a course program with the University of Leiden. And the following fall, I took depolarization of politics. Now I'm in another honors program or honors class. I'm actually in 2 now. So yeah, it's just like there's so many opportunities. I have more honors experiences than I need right now, and I could definitely have more. But yeah, there's so many opportunities out there. So worrying about like the numbers wise, I never really was worried about it because there were so many opportunities. So yeah.
I could go on next. I guess I talked about it a little bit before. My first honors experience was when I went to Switzerland for my co-op. My second honors experience was my RA experience, which was also the co-op 1000. So it's an on-campus co-op. So being a resident advisor in one of those halls counted as one of the pre-approved experiences. My third experience was a self-design experience where it was my journey on how I led the marketing team for UC's biggest hackathon called Revolution UC. So that was my third. And then I'm part of the Student Leadership Roundtable right now. That's my ongoing fourth experience. And I'm completely skipping on my fifth right now. Oh, I work with Adopt a Class, and Adopt a Class is also it's not a pre-approved experience, but it's more of a self-design experience. It's on the border of pre-approved and self-design. So I'm working with Adopt a Class right now, which is super fun. We go once a week to see second graders at the Academy of World Languages. And that's super, super fun, very fulfilling. So that is my fifth ongoing experience right now.
Yeah, and before Perry jumps in, I just want to make a note that that's actually a really good point about how much our program evolves a bit. And like whenever we start seeing students doing a lot of self-designed experiences around the same topic or the same opportunity, like Adopt a Class, which is becoming more and more popular for our students to be engaged in, like we start seeing that trend. And in order to make it easier for the students to engage in that and to make the honors portion that much easier to complete for themselves, we make that pre-approved so that we remove one or two more steps out of the way so that students can get in there and get engaged in those types of experiences. So I'm glad you brought that up. Perry, you want to bring us home with the last one?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess my experience was similar to Garth's, just because our medical sciences curriculum is pretty much like a lot of like the same things like research and stuff. I'd say I started out with the ramp experience, so I did some biomedical research for a semester, and then I continued in the same lab for surf, for 2 honors experiences. So then, and by the end of the summer, I was I think 3 honors experiences, and then I also was a lead tutor for the Bearcat Buddies program through the community engagement, like the Center for Community Engagement. So that was another one, um, and then I also took the Co-op 1000 class for any like student employment. So that was my 5th, I believe. Yeah.
So this is the last question that was submitted, and then I'll have kind of like one or two more fun ones for us to close out. But the student asked, what's the point of honors in college? So I guess if you all could kind of, well, I guess answer that in any way that you want, but the way that I read it is like there's some assumptions and expectations about what honors is, coming from high school, and like asking whether or not it's worth it to be engaged in honors in college. So whoever wants to take that one.
I think the most obvious answer is like first, like scheduling classes is such a big factor. Like today my catalyst opened up for me to enroll in classes. And a lot of my friends are who are not in honors, they have to schedule classes like a week or 2 weeks after me. So I just like felt so much more like just like freedom to like choose like the classes and not have to worry about like not getting a position. And then just the fact that you're able to combine your education and take like these seminars that can like really supplement like your original like major and like the stuff that you're learning in your original plan, to create like a very like unique niche like academic I guess like progress plan. I think like just that itself is like one of the biggest factors for being in honors and stuff. So
Yeah, I would like UC's honors program, it's not like how an honors program, at least at my school, was in high school. Like you in high school, honors classes were always like harder, more challenging, a lot more work. You'd have like summer reading. But at UC, the honors classes are just over basic, like, or different topics that you might not see in your basic classes. They'll have more like specialized faculty and even like fun trip ideas. Like they're one of the honors program is like kind of known for is a lot of their study tours that they do. Like I said, I went to Iceland about a journalism class, and as a criminal justice major, I never thought about taking a journalism class. So the honors program at UC allows you to take a variety of classes that aren't in your major, really count for your major. Like since I came in with some credits from high school, so I had some extra like wiggle room of classes. So because of that, I was able to take like this Iceland class that didn't count for anything. It was just something fun to do during my college time because I'm spending so much time studying and getting ready to graduate. Um, but yeah, it's not like it's a harder thing. It's just more experiences. You get a variety of leadership opportunities if that's what like you're interested. You could become an ambassador like all of us, or a leadership team. Some of the pre-approved experiences require you to be a leader. So if you're already like a leader in your community or were a leader in high school, like you can bring that over to honors and provide like a new set of eyes and new input to just strengthen the program and continue on like your individualized journey. Jason, you're on mute.
Thank you. You told me right as Zoom told me that I had the mute button still on. So the one point that I wanted to make and just make sure that this is clear, because honors seminars and honors classes have been brought up quite frequently across this, that there's only one required class in the entire program, and that's the Gateway to University Honors class. Seminars are just, like we said earlier on, one of the 3 different types of options that are out there for you. Obviously, a lot of our ambassadors have enjoyed quite a few of them, but there are dozens of students who graduate every single year who never complete another class outside of the 1 credit hour Gateway to University Honors course that all students take in the first semester. That really kind of teaches you the ropes to the program and provides like all your understanding for what all of our ambassadors have shared with you today. So just to kind of close out, this will be kind of a 2-part question, and I'll leave our ambassador, I'll ask each of you to answer this, and I'll leave it up to you which and how you want to answer it. Either favorite event that you think every student should check out on campus or something to do, or because these can be events in and of themselves, favorite restaurant that you think every student should go and try at least once. And then along with that, your final point can be any other short bit of advice that you would give incoming first-year students who are new to the program and new to UC that you want to leave us on. And yeah, after that, we'll close out the evening.
I'd like to go first here, just because, I really like this restaurant. So I think there is a Deep India on Bus McMillan, which I think everybody should try at least once in their time here at UC, because, well, it's really good. And it has Indian food, and, well, I have a bias, but, it's really good either way. And the final bit of advice, I guess, that I want to give to everyone who's coming to UC is have fun. Make having fun your priority. It's fine. You're here to do a lot of things. And at some point, college will get overwhelming. At that point, just take a breath, relax, know that you can work this out. We have more than enough resources available in UC to help you with anything and everything you can think of. So have fun, prioritize what you want to do, and go one step at a time. You don't have to have 5 years planned. It's okay. And yeah, just basically have a good time here.
Sorry, I was on mute. I want to go ahead and suggest actually another Indian restaurant that I really like. It's Krishna, which is actually on what is that, Calhoun. So Adeep and Krishna are very close to each other. I personally haven't been to Adeep, so I definitely can't like compare the two at all. They both like seem like great businesses, but for Krishna, it's like, before inflation, that is. I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know what the prices are, but it's really good, like bang for buck type of thing. You get like a decent amount of food price, I don't know if it's free for every restaurant, but there it's free. And then of course you get the non-curry, whatever you want. It was pretty good prices and stuff. And then in addition to that, they offer free delivery. Of course, you should always tip and stuff, but free delivery within like a 3.2-mile radius. Luckily for me, I was in that radius, so it's really fun to just like be able to go on their website and like order really good like fresh Indian food, and have it like not be through like a third party like Uber Eats or something like that. So that's my restaurant recommendation. And of course, it's really close to campus, and they have like lunch specials and stuff like that. But my advice to first years is to learn. This is more like not specifically like school related, but learn how to use the metro buses. This is something that I did not learn how to use until I got my internship my 3rd year. And I definitely just suggest learning how to use the metro bus, because first of all, UC students get discount on it if you have like your UC Bearcat card. So, discounts are great and stuff like that. And then with the metro buses, there are so many routes. You can go anywhere in Hamilton County, and Hamilton County is huge. So I used to take the bus to my internship downtown because I didn't have a car on campus. So that was the only way I was able to, well, I could walk to, but that's kind of a long walk and everything. But so that was really the only way I could go to my internship and stuff like that. And in addition to like finding like work opportunities or like just going to a new town if you're not around here and discovering like a new town or like coffee shop or something like that. School, being on campus and stuff can sometimes be very isolating. So in addition to putting yourself out there while you're on campus, you know, the metro buses just allow you to go to other places, explore, just like meet up with other people and stuff like that. Find your favorite new like thrift shop or something like that. So I definitely suggest utilizing the metro bus because it's a great resource that luckily our city has.
Okay, I can go. I'll cheat a little bit. I guess on Calhoun, McMillan side, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Drunken Bento. I love sushi. Like, I love sushi so much. I'm probably at Bento more than like a lot of the buildings on main campus, like when I was a freshman or sophomore for classes and stuff. On Vine Street side, Cincy Gourmet Deli. It's like literally right next to On the Green. It's so good. If you're a freshman, you can use your Bearcat card there. And honestly, but you can't go wrong with either of those places. But I guess advice for first years I'd have is definitely to explore, like not only just like what we were talking about earlier, like getting out there and like just checking a bunch of like clubs and stuff out, but literally just go and like you can wander around like Clifton. There's like so many more good restaurants that we aren't even going to talk about. There's like so many places you can go. And not only that, like the city, like downtown has so much to offer you, just like around in like Hamilton County, like Chloe's talking about. Uh, I definitely didn't do much exploring like my freshman year because I didn't even know about like the metro buses and anything like that. So definitely now that I have a car, it's easier and I can see like how much more stuff like even like a few miles up north or if you go down to Newport, it's just like a 5 minute trip probably. There's so much stuff to do and I would definitely recommend like even as a freshman just going out and like maybe some clubs will take you outside of the city and I think that's definitely not to be missed.
I'll go next. So in terms of food, I do love myself some Chipotle. Even though what everyone else said was more like not a chain. But Chipotle is always a good go-to. And there's also Mr. Sushi, which they do half off sushi if you eat there. And I don't like sushi, but they're the only sushi that I'll actually like. So that's saying something. I'm answering all of your questions because I couldn't decide. And then for some like stuff to do on campus or like an event to go to, I think like just going to the football stadium like on a nice like sunny day. Yesterday was like 70 something degrees, and since the football stadium's open, like you can go watch like football practices and like do your homework, or there might be like a women's lacrosse game and you can just go sit in the shade, and that's just like I feel like an event in itself to just get out in the sun, do some homework, and just kind of observe like everything that's happening around campus, even if like you're not into sports at all. Just going and like sitting is just a fun little thing to do. Then my advice is like not like don't do having friends is good, but don't feel like you have to do everything your friends have to do. Like you're able to like feel comfortable going to like events yourself. I have plenty of like my best friends and we're both like the same major, but I'm more willing to go out and do stuff on my own if it's going to a club meeting by myself or going to this speaker at like a different hour that they're like, oh, it's too late, I don't want to go. So just because that's where you'll be able to make a lot of connections, even like if you just go by yourself and sit, they'll if it's for like a meeting or like a well-known speaker, like they will see your face and want to talk to you if you're like going more than once and you're just continuously in the audience. So just don't feel like your friends are holding you back because you're your own person and college is your life. You have friends that are there to support you, but in the end, like it's what you want to make out of it. So don't feel like you have to be held back or you're going to be viewed differently. If you leave your friend one night to go to this pre-law meeting or criminal justice meeting, at least like those are what I've been involved in. So just kind of do your own thing, but also it's good to have some friends in your corner.
Okay, and then I can finish this off. So um I guess the place I was gonna say Cincy Deli for the best place to eat on campus, but Garth took my pick. But I actually learned about this new restaurant downtown Cincy. It's called City Bird. They have like the best chicken sandwiches and tenders that you can imagine. Just like the juiciest, like best chicken they have. You definitely have to try it out. If you're not vegetarian, but that is definitely my pick. I would say like something to do just like that you can do on campus or off campus is to go take a look at Bellevue Park. The views from there to downtown are just amazing. I've gone with like a lot of my friends. It's definitely a chill spot to kind of like get to know people, talk over things. So I definitely recommend that. And then lastly, if I were to give one piece of advice, I'd say the first people you meet in college, they might like you don't want to like automatically have to like stay friends with the first people you meet on campus. I think like having like over the time that you spend in college, you're gonna meet like new people. You're gonna meet people you dislike, people you like, and I think just being flexible with that and like you might like cut off some ties here, but like meet new people here. I think it's all just like making sure you're flexible and like I think just giving yourself a lot of options will definitely make your experience better and not put as much pressure on you to kind of have to obligate to stay in like one friend group while you're here at campus. So that is definitely my advice for someone coming to UC. So
Awesome. Well, yeah, you five did fantastic job. Hopefully, well, I know that we answered quite a few of those questions. I hope that we provided some additional clarity and were able to help out everybody who asked those questions and everybody who's going to tune into this video on our website and find everything. So if you've still made it here 50 minutes into this video, thank you and congratulations for visiting our seminar tonight. We hope that you choose UC, and if you do decide to come here and be a part of our program, please don't be shy. If you see any of us around campus, stop and say hi to us, and congratulations to our graduates who are finishing off our year.